Hey, how's it going, traders? It's the Pup of Wall Street, back with another weekend review. Today we're going to look at my top 10 charts going into next week. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below so you can get these actionable trades as soon as they come out. And if you can, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about these videos. Let's dig into the charts. So first up, we have FCX. This is Freeport McMoran, and you could see we had a falling wedge breakout here, and we've been chopping around pretty much between 35 and 41 for the better part of the last quarter. And so what I'm noticing here, we are breaking out on RSI. The TTM squeeze is starting to push towards positive momentum here and setting up in a squeeze. And we have a MACD curl and crossover. So 40, I had mentioned for a couple of months now, that's going to be a tough level. We broke it on Wednesday, and we had a nice continuation right back to these previous highs, just at around 41 and change on Thursday. So I'm going to be watching for a continuation breakout with my next target at 42.64 and my final target at 46.05. Next chart we're taking a look at is Micron, ticker MU. This is a semiconductor, and again, falling wedge breakout. We broke the swing high anchored VWAP here. We had a nice gap and go. We started to consolidate between 79 and 86. Then we had earnings last week on Monday, I believe, or Monday evening. Tuesday we gapped up. Wednesday inside day. Thursday absolute monster candle right into our 1618 extension at 94.30. So watching my next move up to 97.02. If we break over 97.54, this should test 100 and possibly 102.79 to the upside. You can notice here we had RSI came right into 50, bounced right off of 50 and broke out. Now we're coming into overbought conditions. We did get a 2-dot squeeze fire on that earnings gap up, that peg play, and we had a MACD curl and cross on that same play as well. Certainly is some room left for Micron to the upside, but if you're not already in or did not already profit on the previous trade, I would not be chasing it up here. Next up is NIO. So although I don't know if NIO is going to make a move this week, it has been pretty well beaten down. It certainly could still continue down, right? We came into oversold conditions down here, and we got a little bit of a relief bounce 3 days into the end of the week last week. And the squeeze is starting to dissipate, and MACD is starting to flatten out. So I'm not trying to call a bottom here, but, you know, based on that breakdown from 31, it's possible that this is a false breakdown. I think time will tell, but if we start seeing this tick higher and get above this swing low anchored VWAP, this might not be a bad place to take some shares for the long term and keep your stop loss underneath there. Of course, if I do see a breakout over RSI next week, that for me would be an early indication that we might be ready to start moving higher. And of course, you know, stocks don't go up in straight lines, they do move in waves. Next up is NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, another semiconductor. My eyes mainly will be on semiconductors this week. The ticker SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF, is showing some really good strength. And so you could see here we broke above our channel and hit a high of around 350, just below it. And now we're starting to pull back, but we pulled back right to the top of our trend channel and started to reverse right off of 272. Now we're at 296. We're testing 300 again. So for you day traders out there, you could take a trade 305Cs for this coming week over 300. And then for our swing traders, I want to see a close over 300. If we get a close over 300, then the chances are higher that we're going to start, you know, waving up right here to back to that all-time high at 348.39, give or take. That's our 200% extension over there. So what I'm also watching for, trendline breakout on RSI. The squeeze did fire to the downside as we saw this downward action right here, but it's starting to dissipate and move back up to the 0 line. So I want to continue to see that. And MACD is flattened out, and so it's starting to curl. I want to see a crossover, but so far so good. Looking pretty decent. NVIDIA is going to have my attention next week. Here's our next ticker, ON. This is another semiconductor. ON Semiconductor Corporation is the name. Pretty straightforward there. And you can see that we were basically in a bit of a channel here between $40 and $47. We gapped above this level here, above 50. I generally don't like when we gap above these round psychological numbers and or these main Fibonacci levels, because generally in time they will come back and test them. But for now, with this candle close, this is our highest candle close in a rolling 52 week. It might even be our all-time high candle close here. But regardless, it looks strong. I think for a move over 66.64, we can target 72.29, which is our 3618 extension for Fibonacci to the upside. You can see back here, back tested 50 on RSI and started to bounce. Of course, we're on the daily chart, and we have a squeeze that's been setting up for a couple of weeks. And MACD, it looks like it wants to curl and cross over this coming week. So ON, also another semiconductor on my watch list. Guess what? Another semiconductor, QCOM, QCOM, ticker is Qualcomm. So you could see another one that gapped above its trend line. This was a power earnings gap up right here, anchored. You could see every time we've back tested that power earnings gap up VWAP, we popped right higher, come back, back test it, popped right higher, came back right and test it, and now we're popping back higher. So watching to see, can we hold 180.22? If we can, 195 and then 200 above likely will be tested. We've got a beautiful daily slingshot setting up on the TTM squeeze. RSI came back down to 50, starting to bounce, watching for a breakout. MACD flattening out. Let's see if we get that curl and cross this week. Next up is Shopify. You'll notice I'm having a lot of big cap and high growth tech stocks here. It's just because they've been beaten down and now they're starting to show signs of life. And these, I think, once they start going, they really can start to rip. So look at what happened here on Shopify on Friday. Beautiful breakout of our downtrend line. Now keep in mind, this is our third straight day green. So we may need to consolidate a little bit if we want to see a healthy move back higher. Maybe we flag, maybe we form, some sort of pennant next week. Let's see. But right now we're breaking over 50 on RSI. There's no squeezes to note, but MACD looks like it's ready to cross over, already curled. So what I'll be watching for is a break over 1452 for a move up to 1500 and then 1558. That's that level right there. Over that level, then it's more likely we start to come up to that 17 to 1730 level on that daily wick right there. We also have to watch this level back here around 1650, and back here is right around where our 1558 level is. So that's basically why I'm marking off 1558, because it's acting as resistance down here. We had a false breakout here, resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out, we back tested it, and we failed again, resistance, resistance. So I think, again, 1558, that's the level I'm going to be watching if we do break 1452. All right, next up is ticker SNAP, Snap or Snapchat. Another one, very similar to NIO, beaten down, watching to see, we are showing some strength. We had a nice bounce off that swing low anchored VWAP. We're 5 days green here. Got a nice close over $48. We had a volume shelf bounce. We had positive bullish divergence. Basically, when you have an indicator like RSI or the Williams %R and it's showing higher highs like we see here, or higher lows, I should say, while we're seeing lower lows on price, that means it's diverging. And generally speaking, this is bullish divergence, and that's mainly why I'm very interested in this move here. MACD's already curled and crossed, no squeezes to note. Snapchat, in addition, had some really nice bullish call flow into the end of the week. So definitely keeping my eyes on Snap this week. Next up, ticker TSLA, Tesla. Not a car company, it is an energy company. We had a breakout on RSI, no squeezes to note. MACD curled. Looks like we're getting an inbound crossover. We are 3 days green. Monster move Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday into the holiday week. We did close right under the previous swing high anchored VWAP, which was also the 618 retrace at 1080. I think over 1080, the C is 1100 and quite possibly 1132. Over 1132, I think 1200 is in the books. And then over 1200, I think all-time highs are coming. So keep a close eye on Tesla this week. And last but not least is UPST. This is Upstart. It is a fintech company. I really love this company. I did call the top at 400. I did not call the bottom at around 180. I thought this was our bottom right here between 190 and 204. We obviously continued to go down further. We even passed that 786 retracement at 148.39. But the way I'm looking at it, I grabbed some shares right over 135. This could be an oops breakdown right here. It still remains to be seen. Obviously it's really beaten down. MACD did curl and cross. Not trying to call a bottom here, but I don't mind taking a stab at shares between 135 and 150, because I think once we're over 150, I think this goes pretty quickly back up to 200. You can see the gap down anchored VWAP right here is right at about 180 or so. And this will start to curl up as price starts to move. So, I think once we're over 205, that's when things start to get really interesting, because then we're talking about testing this possible gap, or possibly testing the gap up here, and then over to 294, then 300, 400 are in the cards. So, not saying that's going to happen anytime soon, but I really like the company, I like what it does, and I really want to add to my position down here. So keeping a very close eye on it. So those are my top 10. I really do appreciate you spending the time. This video is a little longer than previous ones. I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail onto some of these charts. Obviously, next week is the final week of 2021. So we could still see some tax loss harvesting and some rebalancing. Santa Rally potentially still on. But, let's take it day by day. Let's watch the flow. Let's see where we're at. And again, appreciate you being with me this week. And, of course, this year. Or, for those of you who have been with me for the last 2 years in this journey, I really, really do appreciate it. It's been an incredible run. We've done some incredible trading together, and for those of you again that have been with me for the long haul, I certainly appreciate it. Going to have a lot of new and cool, interesting things going on next year, from a coaching perspective, from a training perspective, from just a content perspective. So really very excited for 2022. Very excited for you to be with me on this journey. Definitely appreciate you all every day. So thank you again for being with me. Have a great rest of your evening, and good luck in the markets this coming week.